So actually the entire presentation was like very interesting, sir. I was looking at the alternate energy and all for the past 2 to 3 years, but it was really interesting. You made everything in a good way, because I was thinking that I was also kind of, I had a thought that this everything we are using now is being mined. So how about the future? So you are concentrating now, and Elon Musk is getting onto the electricity, but the batteries thing, it is from the minerals. So where we are going to get it? When you explained about this, sir, I was completely like yes, there is some way. I was with a question, and you came up with a nice idea, and you really showed me a path to look at.
You should. Actually, Elon Musk is coming up with a totally different battery. It doesn't use lithium. It doesn't use cobalt. That is the kind of thing that we need to come up with. That, in the sense, organic materials. If we can come up with those kinds of things. I mean, if you don't have any vision, if you don't have any, vision in the sense, narrow vision or predetermined, position, you think all possible ways, and you can come up with those kinds of things. If we are going in a predetermined way, then our brain basically becomes like a concrete. It's already set. It will not think out of the box. But that is the reason he is the richest person today.
Absolutely.
He lost so many times, actually. Zero. He went under, and then he built back up. He went under, he built back up. That's the kind of thing, So anyway, I'm not a spokesperson for Elon Musk, but I'm just telling you that we should think out of the box. Absolutely, you need, and that's what you need to do.
Yep.
Very good question. Very good. I think if we can come up with that, I mean, transportation-wise, our goal is always when we think, if we have to transport, 10 lakh people, or, in a city, we always think, okay, cars, if not cars, trains, if not trains, planes. And because our mind is tuned, this is the only mode that we can transport people. If we can come up with something totally different transportation method,
yep,
it'll work. It'll work.
If you want to say anything, click on raise hand button. So that way I can call on your name. Okay, Surya, go ahead.
So thank you for wonderfully elucidating about the various challenges associated with the extraction of critical minerals. And I'm very excited to learn how our chemical engineering concepts, such as mass transfer and reaction engineering, can be applied to extracting these critical minerals from the ash and slag from various energy production process, such as biomass gasification.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested with these challenges.
Sure. Let me give you a couple of examples. And again, if I tell you one thing, your mind will think only in that direction. You have to come up. But let me show you one thing here. Actually, if you let me go to. This is one of these challenges that we are actually looking at right now. This is recently published in chemical engineering by our group here. You can see this. What we're trying to do is, in old mines, which have been actually abandoned, particularly if they have sulfur, what happens is the sulfur, the water that is seeping through the pyrite oxidizes. Pyrite basically forms, sulfate, and then that forms the basis for actually acid. That is called acid mine drainage. Actually, from old mines, you get acid out, because when acid comes out, it leaches all the minerals, right? It dissolves. It dissolves calcium, it dissolves aluminum, it dissolves silica, it dissolves, rare earth elements also. Rare earth elements are not something that are like rare, you can find only at one place. They are everywhere, but they are in small quantities. So what we are trying to do is, what typically people do is, they take that water that comes out, because that is acidic, and you cannot leave it into streams, water streams, rivers and lakes and so on, because that is too acidic and it kills the aquatic life and it doesn't meet the regulations. So what they do is they put some, if it is acidic, how do we neutralize? You put some base. Calcium hydroxide, right? Base. So when you can put calcium hydroxide, or you can use passive systems where you can use calcium carbonate, and then what you do is you bring the pH back again. That's what people were doing. And once the pH comes to about 7, they let the water go. When the pH comes back up, all these elements will precipitate. They come down. They settle down. So what happens is the clear water they will let into the ponds and streams and whatever it is, the flowing body, whatever sludge that settles at the bottom is all precious. Nobody thought about that. But only thing is you have to entrain it basically, or you need to mix with water and then bring down the pH to get them into water. But at different pH, you can take out different elements. Aluminum comes out at 1 pH, scandium comes out at different pH, or maybe a bunch of elements will come out in the range. So you have to slowly increase decrease or increase the pH, in other words, from 2.5 to 3, 3.5, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you get different elements. So what we have done is at pH 5, you can get aluminum separated. And what we have found is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 11, you get different elements. But if you use some kind of a carbonate, any carbonate, actually the precipitation will, the pH range over which these things will precipitate will be kind of actually shrinking. In other words, we take aluminum first, because that is a mineral that is in large quantities. We don't want that to be mixed with all the rare earth elements as a mixed bag. We have to separate them at later dates. So we take out this large quantity first, and then all valuable ones will come out at a pH 7, and all REEs can be separated in a very narrow range. So your base consumption is going down. You see that point? You don't have to go all the way to 10, 11 to actually take those things out. So we have patented this. We just filed the patent for this one. And one of the companies here, actually local companies, they already bought this patent. They want to build using this patent, a plant in Pittsburgh. So what we have done is we tried to narrow. Our goal is to reduce the acid consumption, reduce the base consumption, so that we don't use environmentally detrimental materials, right? Those are environmental. So what we have done here is, you see these elements, this is rare earth elements here: aluminum, magnesium, manganese, chromium, cobalt. Cobalt, the moment you produce it, there's a market out there. Why? Batteries. Nickel. All right, copper. All these things can be separated, and we are getting here recovery of 98%, and the grade is very, very high grade. You can see the grade in the sense how pure in the sense not just rare earth elements, other materials also will be there. So what is the proportion of rare earth elements in that mix? If it is higher, it is more valuable. That's what we're doing. This is using chemical engineering knowledge here. Let me go to the other one here. How we are going to use. We are preparing. This is not my research, but I am working with another chemical engineering professor here. What we are taking is, we're taking simple cellulose, and then we are putting some kind of functional groups on top of it. what happens is certain functional groups, either it can be cellulose with functional groups, or you can generate some kind of proteins. You know what? Those characteristics, they have those characteristics to absorb certain elements. So when we change the characteristics, they will stick to only rare earth elements. I mean, in a sense, a group, lanthanide group, let's say. So what we're doing is we're just dropping this surface modified material into a lake which has all these rare earth elements in there, or a sludge pond, and then all will be absorbed. You take this material out, filter it, and then you can separate them. You're not using acids, you're not using bases. I mean, again, you have to adjust the pH later on, but we can do that by surface modifications, ion exchange, and we can produce that. And this is another patent that we just filed here. It just came out in Journal of Production and Cleaner Production here. This is ash, as you asked, ash, coal fly ash. Typically, coal fly ash, when it comes out, it turns into glassy material because it goes through high temperatures and it melts, and basically the material will be inside, and it will be vitrified, so to speak. You have to break that structure. We use sodium hydroxide. We use light sodium hydroxide to break that structure and open that. And then what happens is it is very easy to actually leach it out. So this is another material, another method. Previously, people used to use high acids to basically dissolve it and get everything into it. Now we are modifying by pre-treating with this sodium hydroxide. What is happening is it is reducing our acid consumption there, and we are able to get a lot of this material out. I'm just giving you, just some kind of idea. These are all ideas that, again, you don't want to think along the same lines, but we were thinking maybe you can come up with something else. Something else in the sense, for example, instead of using inorganic acids, why don't you guys think about using organic acids? Citric acid, lemon juice, try it. Orange juice, try it. Not oxalic acid, but citric acid, because of the environmental concerns as well as health hazards. You can think about different things, environmentally friendly things, and then come up with this experiment, come up with these kinds of things, and you can do wonders here. I mean, there are so many things. At the end of the day, let me tell you, even the best process, unless it goes through economic feasibility, nobody will use it. Nobody will use it. It may be the best thing. So every one of you should have some idea about these economics. Pick up those skills. Pick up those skills, because you need to have an idea about whether it is going, if a product has to see the light of the day, it has to be economically feasible. A lot of my friends said when we got this Tesla, and that is the right thing to do. You know what? I asked one question. Yeah, it is the right thing to do, but how much money, extra money, we have to spend on this? Oh, it is right thing. It is right thing, but unless it becomes cheaper, unless a few people buy it, won't become cheaper. That is the reason we can buy it, but unless the costs come down, everyone will not be able to, and the costs have come down actually. The model that we bought, now we can buy $10,000 cheaper right now, or $15,000, whatever it is. I'm just throwing this number. So it'll come down, but we have to be the guinea pigs to develop these things, to encourage certain things. So that's what I have basically, what I wanted to share with you guys. But any questions, I'm enjoying this. Any questions you have, please feel free.
Good morning, Sarma. How are you?
Hey, Ramanarao, how are you?
Sorry, I joined late. We had some other engagement from 8 to 8:40.
Okay.
It was really educating, and man, I had forgotten all my chemical engineering. You addressed me as one who knew chemical engineering. But it's really great. The one thing I appeal to me is we are asking the students think beyond the possible. That's a great thing. Because all of us are live within the senses, 5 senses, and work within that.
Right.
And we've seen it, whatever achieved is beyond, whether it's Edison or Archimedes, anything. The reason is, unlike us, the present society is affluent society. I mean, I'm not saying that by means everyone has it, but things are available.
Mhm.
But what I advise the students is, as you said clearly in your thing, rare earth elements, how to extract it by various means. So it's good. Then, especially the students are quite young and energetic, Sarma. I met a couple of them when I was there 2 years back. They are beyond possible guys.
Right.
They're not like me. Maybe they're like you a little bit, okay? Definitely, I'm saying it.
No.
No, they're very good guys. We are
Yeah.
happy and fortunate. You could spare some time. And I want the students also to learn how to come out of it, how to beyond. Please think beyond the possible. Normally, we think only possibility, right? I am possible, impossible. Impossible, break into it. I am possible. That's what I learned from Sharma. So I expect all of you. A lot of R&D has to be done. That's what I feel it again and again. Sharma was fortunate enough in Pennsylvania State to do that work. Even if you're not there, please don't feel bad about it. Because we've seen things coming out of anywhere in the world. Need not be in China only, not in the USA only, right? Like Vinay, Harish, Fatma, I'm seeing the name, Surya Kala. All of you can do wonders. But only thing you need to take the platform, think beyond possible. That's the first thing, period. Nothing beyond that. Thanks. Now over to Sharma and Shravan.
Yeah, there was one question there somewhere here. Japan is one of the most developed countries, and they use many machines, but it is still less polluted. Obviously, they work under very strict environmental regulations, and one of the beauties there is they use minimal because the space limitations. They cannot expand. It's an island country, right? They cannot expand, so they go vertically. And they make it more and more efficient, everything. And fortunately or unfortunately, whatever way you call, in the United States, we can expand in any direction we want because we have land here. And they are, the quality, if you look at the quality control in Japan, that is amazing. Why we are buying Japanese cars? That is because of the quality. We can depend on it because, there was a saying when I was in industry, back in the day, in my previous life, quality control people used to say, the same thing. After testing 999 springs, because I used to be in springs division also there in BHEL, springs, 999 passed the test. That one spring we could have just thrown into that, pass thing. In Japan, I believe that is not allowed. Statistically, if you look at 999 have passed, what is the probability? No, they say that 1,000th piece, if somebody gets it, and what do they think about Japan?
No, Japan, the way as Sharma said clearly.
That is
trust.
The mentality.
Sharma, trust. Japanese, they trust themselves. In fact, I'll take a small example similar to you what you said.
Yeah.
I went to Sumitomo plant where they make steel, okay? Right. Steel pipes. The way they do it, everything is controlled. If everything is given, it starts with Bessemer furnace. No tests are done, no physical lifting done. At the end, is a nace pipe. They will know only when the nace test is done after 720 hours after the pipe is done. But the quality, the way they do it, human touch is not there. When the camera only picks up the figures, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But one more thing is, they trust. If the guy says no. I dealt with Japanese. If says no means he will keep on bargaining. You may do whatever thing because his conviction is great. See, in spite of Catholic society like other countries. Plus, one more thing is, as you said clearly again, the requirements are minimal. They still live a simple life.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike, I don't want to say that your brother Trump, the way he does it, is different from others.
Let's not talk about that right now.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that is.
No, I said as a passing remark. Technically, I'm talking about. Sorry,
Anyway.
don't misunderstand.
Anyway,
Already
yeah,
Shravan is on putting on. No, I've said. But the
no,
quality
I
control,
right.
well, quality control, which is Sarma, I said, is Japanese great.
Yeah.
Means it's in the blood. The question which I'm telling to the students is, it should go in the blood and veins. That's one thing great they're doing it. So with our students also can learn, develop themselves, so that we, like you yourself, don't think of India, America, China. No,
No.
we are a universal world. How to create the world and how to become best of ourselves. Period. Thanks, Sarma. Back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It is my pleasure. Actually, when Shravan called me and mentioned that these, students are all outstanding and committed students, I thought that that's great. I know you mentioned this, Ramanara, and a couple of months ago about this one, but I was obviously busy and I could not join for one of the meetings, and then now it materialized. And it is very important, folks, and with the honesty, with real dedication, whatever you are doing, that is the principle I believe that you guys are following and making sure, which is the best way to do it. Do it the right way, right? That is the best thing that we can do.
Yes.
There is no substitute. Go ahead.
Sir,
Yeah,
Vijay sir has.
Sharma.
Yeah, Vijay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Sharma. It was very, for me, it was very educative. And friends, I was fortunate enough to study with Sharma together for 7 years. And I studied coal process engineering because of Sharma. To be with him, I would rather say.
Yeah.
Right, Sharma. One thing. Yeah. Sharma, one thing, when we studied 80s and 82s and etc., from that time till now, the technology has changed. And for these youngsters who are now here, some of them would be like you into the future 40 years from now. Some of them would go to the industry, some of them anyway. But what as an advice, not from a technological perspective, the challenges that we, when we project back and look forward, probably, do you think the challenges and the contributions in the next 40 years would be higher? And how do these youngsters prepare for the future? What kind of skills that are needed? And you said that the technology that we had when we studied under Professor Sen is not what we have now.
No.
Isn't it?
Absolutely.
So
I completely agree. Let me tell you, actually, the
so
market. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that, yesterday we had a session on mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
It was a brilliant session. So now these youngsters, in our times, there was no one was mentoring us. We took our professors as a role models, and we took inspiration and we channelized our own study directions in that way. So given that, now in terms of technological challenges that you are proposing and you are showing, it's a bit really shocking. And our here sitting in India, we don't realize that the enormity of what is going to hit us. Right? We are, as a land, India is 3 times smaller than America, and we have 3 times more people.
Yep.
And if our cars go up by 20 times, that is 180 times more density.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a thing. When you look at it, it is mind-boggling. So given that now the technocrats, some of them who are there, whichever job or role that they would take up, what is your advice based on your experience in trying to learn the new technologies? Vision, you said one particular thing is that someone should have the vision, right? So obviously someone should be able to guide them. So as an attribute, as a student, what skills and attributes you would say to the student that they should develop, and what would you recommend to mentors in that they should be able, who are going to mentor this, what attributes you would say that we all should develop? You know, what's happening maybe there is slightly different from what is happening in India in preparing these students for the future.
Yeah, the first thing that we need to look at or develop, every one of us, including us, is open mind. Open mind, and let me tell you one thing, what will come in 10 years, I cannot even tell, forget about 40 years. I have a plot actually, what EIA projected energy, 10 in 60 for 70s and 70s for 80s. And if you look at their projection, they're all wrong. After 10 years, if you look at, but why do we project even now? We project it based on our current abilities. They will change. They will change. When I came to this country, there was no email. There was no internet in the world, basically. I did not really touch a personal computer. Did we touch a personal computer when we were in college? No. We did not touch a personal computer. We did not know. And even when I was working in BHEL in the 80s, it was only mainframe. So if you ask me what people need in 20 years, I don't know. But all I can say is if we keep our minds open, we will be receptive to those changes, rather than say, well, my grandfather did this way, my father did this way, I'm going to do this way, and you guys have to do this way. No, it doesn't work that way. My great-grandfather did not even know what a plane was, but today we fly in planes. So somebody imagined that people can fly, and they worked on it, and they got the planes, right? They discovered. It is nothing that I could not even imagine that we will be talking like this when I was in school. Different people in different countries, but you can see and talk and communicate. Can you even imagine? No. So to answer your question, what I think the skill is adaptability, and we need to be looking out for opportunities. And people like you, who have experience, based on the experience, we can tell the pitfalls, but we cannot guide the future. But what we can say is, well, if somebody wants to try this, you can say, well, wait a minute. You need to look at not only this, but associated one, downstream as well as upstream things, because you have experienced that. Some people will look at only one thing. So that is where our experience comes in, but we should encourage people to do wild things, experimental, but wild meaning not drugs. I'm just telling wild things is reasonably acceptable things. That's what I'm talking about. Not wild, living a wild life. No, they can try. That is the age that they can try. If they fail, that's a great experience. They will learn. They will pretty soon learn. Not that we don't even know, I tell you, but I can tell you, I cannot even, when I advise, I said the same thing to my students. I say, be open-minded. Don't go in like a concrete. Be an open mind, and you can fill with anything you want. You can fill with Ganga, or you can fill with trash, your pot, if it is open. If it is closed, you cannot fill with anything, right? So that is what I think. But the skills that they need to know is actually what is worthwhile or what is not, because there is so much of information out there. You can easily get lost today because everything is on your desk, on your screen. You don't have to go to library. You know how to go to library? Probably no. Half of these students, all the articles that I need are delivered to my desk, actually to my computer. Even if I don't have in my library, I will have to request, and within seconds, it'll come from some other library. So I don't even know what libraries look like these days. So we need to look at that perspective actually, and see things objectively.
Splendid, Sharma. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm sure you're all there enjoying these students, bright students, and guiding them. It is nice, and I wish you all good luck. And I hope one of you will be more than Einstein's. Einstein is dead. We all know that, right? Einstein has to come from you now. There's no Einstein anymore. He's dead. So I'm pretty sure you will be. You will be Elon Musk's. You will be Einstein's. You will be, there's no question about it. Or more. We cannot undermine. All right. Any other questions, folks?
Afsa, you can continue.
I don't have a question, sir, but I just want to say that the presentation was really fascinating. It was informative and interesting at the same time. You have embedded these ideas in our mind that what can we do differently? How can we do it? How can we make it? How can we make it economically feasible? So, thank you, sir.
Yeah, that is another thing. When Vijay asked, I think today, when we went to school 30 years ago, we had certain subjects that we needed to learn. Those are not the only things. Today you have to do a lot of other things, actually. Interpersonal skills. I mean, we talked about those things, but we never had any training or formal thing or mentorship or anything like that. It is, so those are the things that you need to develop in addition to your 120 credits or whatever you need to accumulate to get to graduate technically. So that's a challenge for you too, actually, in this era. It is not an easy thing. And keep up with the WhatsApp, keep up with whatever you use, Telegram, keep up with all those things. It is not an easy task. We didn't have all those things in those days to keep up. We didn't have cell phones. Anyway, it is a pleasure to talk to you guys. If you have any questions or anything, you know how to get hold of me. Penn State. You can write Sarma at Penn State, Pishupati at Penn State, or SXP17 at Penn State. You just type my name and Penn State. You will see 120 pages, good and bad. So yeah, wish you good luck. And good day, actually, for you. It's in the morning. Thank you.
Dr. Sharma garu?
Yeah.
Can the students want to give you a short presentation about what they have done? Can they do that, or is it too late for you?
It's very good, actually. I can say good morning later on after an hour or so. That's fine. It's wonderful. I mean, it's normal for me to work until midnight.
Okay.
So go ahead, please.
Go ahead, Tejashree. All yours.
Yeah.
So, we would like to share our website with you, and we will surfing you with that, and we'll give you a complete detail about our website, what we have done these many days, and we will share you about that in soon. And Suryanna, can you please share the screen? Okay. Thank you, sir. So, welcome to the world of logical literates by Entrepreneurship Cell UCTOU. Now, everyone can access our eCell website and get amazed with our achievements by using the URL www.ecellouct.com.
ECEL is a place where we dare to dream big.
We make impossible things possible.
And this wave represents the disruptive mindset we have.
Okay. So this website is designed by all chemical, food, and textile engineering students who do not have any knowledge on coding. We designed our website very reader friendly and easily accessible. Our homepage navigation titles will make you to the different sections we have in ESL, which we will be exploring into the now this presentation. So to know more, let us get to know more about ESL by surfing through the frequently asked questions. So what are we built on? Yes. So these are the frequently asked questions, and we are built on a strong foundation of our core values. These values have created a new culture among us, which sets us different from the rest.
We respect each other, see beauty in each other, and never judge. Provide value to others. Take responsibility in everything we do and are accountable to each other. Believe in team spirit. We never criticize, complain, or condemn anything or anybody. We spread happiness by being grateful to others and always strive to become the best versions of ourselves through continuous learning. These are the iconic differences which we have created in the last 3 years. ESL made the alumni student interactions possible. ESL made authors at the age of 18 and 19. ESL made dreamy discussions possible with Learners Loop, where we enjoy learning together. ESL made internships and industrial visits possible from first year itself. ESL is now emerging as Thop consultancy services. ESL made Thop talks possible. ESL is up to date with cutting edge technologies. So the background of our ESL doodle, which is a beautiful pictorial representation of what we stand for. This is our mission and this is our vision. These are some of the books which our students have authored over the last 3 years.
Wow.
And
that's good.
We have been covering various topics in our books. For example, this book is going to help the students in a big way when they're preparing for their interviews. And in order to emphasize on how much we care about the attitude of gratitude, we have written, our students have authored another book. We have also authored a disruptive book titled How to Learn Chemical Engineering in 100 Problems and Be Industry Ready.
Are you getting training in any of these things actually? Using Pro 2? Do you have packages there?
Yes, sir. We do have simulation packages available in our college. And very recently, our college has, with the alumni support, has procured a latest tool called Sim Central. And very soon, we are also going to write a book on solving problems using Sim Central.
Perfect. Very good. Very good.
And some of these students are also certified in Pro 2. And the students have been learning Pro 2 from first year.
Oh, so, nice.
Because by the time they come to third year or fourth year, they do not have the time to learn.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So first year is very, very nice actually. They're learning first and second year. It's very nice.
How about these achievements? Now, let us look at how it all started. In November of 2017, a 49-year-old man, Shravan Tedla, who is our alumnus, introduced us a disruptive idea of entrepreneurship cell, fondly known as ECell. Two of my friends, Vinay and Nikhil, got overwhelmed by the idea and took the initial steps of creating a dream future for our students. Later, few of our enthusiastic students joined them. From there, the story begins. Briefly, ESL is a platform of constructive interactions for the students who are aspiring for a better future and those who want to stand out as responsible leaders. Our mentor has a unique value system, and with a profound zeal to give back to the society, he has set us on a disruptive expedition to bring out the best version of ourselves. This has driven us to try out everything possible and dream really big. ESL gave us the freedom to express, the liberty to make mistakes and learn from them, the support to explore and understand ourselves, making us a strong team that has ever built, who are independently dependent. Our mentor. He is our mentor, Shravan Tedla, who constantly supports us and guides us. Shravan sir has invested hundreds of hours and on each and every one of us and made us realize what life is all about. And our constant support. We have constant support from the alumni, principal, vice principal, our faculty, and our college.
Thank you. That was very good. Very nicely done.
Sharma Garu, do you want to say any comments before we end the session? Oh.
No, I think I thoroughly enjoyed. And, if you have any questions or if you need any help or anything like that, I will be happy to be part of the group to support you anytime. Feel free to contact, and then we'll go from there. And keep doing. I think you have, looks like, you have from sophomores all the way to seniors in this group, right? Second year, third year, fourth year students in this group, right?
Actually, from freshmen.
From freshmen also. Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. First year students. Oh, that's great, actually. So continuity can definitely be maintained, and it's a very nice I think exploration that you are on, or track that you are on, and yeah, just feel free. I think this is, I haven't seen this before, so it is overwhelming. I'm very happy, ecstatic about what you are doing, what you guys are doing. I mean, definitely we couldn't have done that 35 years ago. We didn't have, and so you guys are lucky. And first, it's not just luck. You are working hard to do that. Luck is secondary. Luck only works if you have the determination.
So,
yeah.
So before it, can we have a screenshot, sir? Can everyone come on video?
Can you all actually, if you don't mind, take a 30 seconds and just introduce yourself, what your interests are, what your things are. Maybe it's a large group, I don't know. Maybe we'll do that later, right? Over time, but I would like to know a little bit more about you guys. It doesn't have to be now. You feel, on a Sunday morning, I don't want to waste your time. Yeah.
I don't think,
Sir,
I think they are more thinking about your time than their time.
It's I usually work until midnight. It's not a big deal, so for me it is it's nothing. I mean, as I mentioned to you when we talked about it, there was a major proposal that had to go out the other day, 2 days ago, but now it's a little bit of relief until the semester starts next week, so that's good. Yeah.
Sir, I just want to ask one thing. Hello?
Hello, yeah?
Sir, I was excited to ask about your background. I was overwhelmed to see so many awards, so many
Oh, wow.
books.
In the sense, that's my office, actually. That's my office. So yeah, different things I was involved in. So, over time, you will have 3 times more than that. Let me tell you that. So that is nothing overwhelming. There was no other place, so I just hung up there. Yeah.
Mm.
It's over years, anybody would get these kinds of things. It is nothing special, because I love teaching. Most of these are teaching awards and recognition for thing. The most important thing is, you can see a few there actually, where students with handwritten notes, they give me that, uh, they write something appreciating what they have learned or something. That is most valuable to me, rather than all these medals out there. Medal is nothing. It comes, it goes. As I say, when I retire or when I am gone, everything will go into dustbin. There is no place for it. So it's part of it, but life, it goes on. But thank you very much, and I enjoyed thoroughly. And maybe some other time we can always talk, or if we have any other questions or anything like that, or general discussion. Yeah, it is.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, good luck.
We thoroughly enjoyed, and it is like educational, as all everyone has said. And there were so many things which I learned, which I even don't know before. Thank you for the very good information, and I could see always a smile in your face saying every time. So happy to see that, and thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Feeling pleasure to thank you also. Thank you for your time, and you can have a very happy sleep now. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your affection, and I wish you nothing but the best. You should keep up our banner, OUC banner. Always the flag up. You're representing very prestigious institution, and you are lucky to get education there, and very fortunate. Very few people can get in and pursue the education there. You are very blessed. So wonderful. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank everyone. Please who has joined. Thank you so much.